Go. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to One Piece, chapter 1185. I'm talking like the Crazy Taxi guy. Crazy Taxi. I think they're making a remake of Crazy Taxi. Do you remember Crazy Taxi? I don't remember Crazy Taxi. I actually never played it. So, there's that. But it was actually funny because I'd heard people making that voice, like parodying it before. And I didn't know that was an actual game until like 2 weeks ago. My friend Cody was just like, yeah, that's from Crazy Taxi. I'm like, oh, I thought that was just like a joke voice or something from another. Like, I didn't know it was an actual video game, but I should probably check it out now. So there we go. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yeah, Crazy Taxi. I think a trailer's already out. Oh, for the Crazy Taxi game? Oh my God. We're doing Crazy Taxi for sure today. Okay. Happy Flag Day. That's right. Is it Flag Day? I don't even know anymore. Oh, it's Flag Day. No, wait, no, it's not Flag Day. My calendar does not say it's Flag Day. My Skyrim calendar does not say it's Flag Day. It is not Flag Day in Skyrim. All right? What's today? Today's the 14th, right? Yeah, no. According to the land of Skyrim, according to the Elder Scrolls, it is not Flag Day. So I don't know what to tell you. Just is it Dragon Day? I think every day is Dragon Day in Skyrim. Yeah. Not in Skyrim it ain't. I don't know, man. The Skyrim calendar never lies. Howdy, partners. Hey, everyone. Welcome in. We're going to take a little bit here, just get situated, and then we'll start talking about the chapter. The official's not even up yet, but I've been up for like 2 hours, and so I'm like, man, I'm in the mood to do the stream, so let's do the stream now. The Elder Scrolls are never wrong. So I've played only like a little bit of Skyrim and a little bit of Oblivion. I've not really gotten into either, I've never gotten into the Elder Scrolls in a big way. I've heard things, though. I've heard things about them that, very glitchy, and there's other problems. But I also hear they have a very dedicated fan base, that people still mod these games. People still go back and play these games all the time. Even though they were around, I know Morrowind would have come out on console when I was probably in middle school. When did Morrowind come out? Morrowind was 2002? Yeah, Morrowind was 2002, so I would have been in elementary school still. I probably would have really dug that. I probably would have really enjoyed to play Morrowind in, I would have been 10. No, I'd have been 9. So that would have been, that would have been something I probably would have enjoyed. And then Oblivion in 2006, I would have been 13. Huh. Yeah, most downloaded mods are bug fixes, LOL. Well, that's the cool thing, too, about what we have today with gaming that we didn't have back in the day. If a game in 2003 was released and it was buggy as hell, there's not much you could really do about it. You know what I mean? I guess at the end of the day, really the only thing that the game developers could do is, we're going to make a sequel and it's going to be better. And that's pretty much the best you got. Nowadays, if there's problems with your game and it's buggy as hell, that was actually something else my friends were talking about. No Man's Sky. When No Man's Sky came out back in, 2016, people really shit on that game. It's just, it's a lot of boring, just procedural generated shit, and it's not that very interesting. And apparently they really rehauled that game in a big way, and now it's a lot of fun to play. I have never played that one either. I'm just from stuff I've heard from people. But yeah. So that's the cool thing about what we have now is if there's issues, we can just fix them. Just be like, oh, here you go. That's good, sir. Yes, there you go. Yeah. Back in my day, we would go to the video rental store. We didn't even have a Blockbuster where I lived. We had a video warehouse. That's what we had, box seat video and video warehouse. And we would rent video games, and we'd bring them home, and we'd play them. And you better get them done in a week, because if you can't, I remember Mega Man Legends was a big one. I bought Mega Man, I rented Mega Man Legends from Video Warehouse, and I had it for a week, and I couldn't beat the game. And I rented it I made it almost all the way to the final boss, and then I actually had to rent it again for another week, and I still couldn't beat the final boss. I don't think you know what I should do? Is that on Steam? I should do a Let's Play of Mega Man Legends. The Mega Man game where you can go shopping in a shoe store. I should do that because that game was fucking fun. All right. But anyway, yeah, we should probably start getting into like One Piece related stuff. But there's a little banter at the beginning here. Yeah, we didn't even have a blockbuster. My town wasn't even important enough to have a blockbuster. Public libraries have video games you can rent. Yeah, I remember. I don't think actually, no, I did. I rented some stuff from the public library. I haven't been in a public library in a long time. But, yeah. But anyway, let's check out some super chats here. Are we talking about games? I mean, we were, but we are going to move into One Piece here. Don't get to catch many of these live streams. Glad when I do. LOL, the goat of One Piece, YouTube, for real. When are we getting a new One Piece game? I think October. We're getting a One Piece game. It's a brand new one. It was just on a Nintendo Direct. You're going to basically be designing and building and managing your own Baratier. Like, it's like Restaurant Simulator, but One Piece. I'll play that one, too. You think the backstory could go into Emu Joy Boys? Well, no, because Emu and Joy Boys' backstory as a whole is going to be the Void Century backstory. Now, with that being said, what Oda does do is he'll give us little breadcrumbs of like a flashback before we actually get to that flashback, right? Like, so maybe there'll be, we even kind of got some of that with like Joy Boy and Emu kind of hanging out laughing to one another. So like he'll be giving us a little bit more of that, and it'll give us more questions than answers, and then eventually we'll finally get the Void Century flashback. Do you think Brook can die again? The fruit, the way I've always interpreted it, and this could always be wrong, but the way I've always interpreted it was the Omi Omi no Mi is it gives you a second chance at life. It doesn't make you immortal. It doesn't make you invincible. If you die again, you're dead for real. That's the way I've always interpreted it, because other than that, it would never reincarnate. Yeah. My classroom in 2nd grade of elementary school doubled as our village's public library. Interesting. You lived in a small village, it seems. Dude, there's a place in Alaska. It's an entire town that lives in one building. And so they have this giant, like, apartment building that has a library and a school and, like, everything in this building. A bunch of YouTubers have already made videos about it, but it's cool. It's, like, an interesting little thing in this place because it's, like, just a cold, unforgiving area where there's an entire town just living in one building. Let's see. Do you think Brook can die? I answered that one already. Apologies, but I was under the impression Brook only heard that Shuri killed Reuven, not that she was actually there. Does this chapter contradict that? The way that I interpreted it is that Brook showed up, and when Gunko was there, and when Brook realized Gunko was Shuri, and when everything connected in the present, Brook seemed pissed at her. Brook seemed really fucking mad of just like, how dare you? I never thought I'd see you again. You killed my benefactor, Shuri. How could you? Like, Brook seemed upset. Brook seemed mad. He seemed more mad than just somebody that like heard that like Shuri killed Reuven. Like from the last chapter, he walks in and he sees Shuri with bat wings and devil horns stabbing her father, or her father has just recently been like, it's not a great look. Right? Like, Brook did not actually see the stabbing, but you're walking into a room where the king is on the ground in a puddle of his own blood, and Shuri's standing there with blood on her sword like, hey there, Brook, how you doing? You know, so, like, it's not great. And Brook is like, what? Yo, what? Hi, Par, how you doing, man? How's the family? How's the fam? Everything going good? New One Piece episode is out! BRB. Yeah, go watch it. That's also out on Sundays. Yes, I need to go check that out. Is this the one with the mural? No, I think the next episode is the one with the mural. No, I think... Yeah. No. Yeah. No. 2 episodes till the mural. 2 episodes. I think it's 28th. I think the 28th is going to be the mural episode. Yeah. You have to drive through a mountain to get to that town. The road is also a railroad, and you can only go in and out at certain times. Yeah, that makes sense. It's Alaska. It's very unforgiving. What's the name of the town? Let's look it up. Town in Alaska where everyone lives in one building. Wow, that came up right away. Whittier, Alaska. Whittier. Don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Population 270 is famously known as the town under one roof. Nearly all residents live in a 14-story towers condominium. Nearly all the residents. So there's one icon class that lives in a little house. He's like, no, I'm going to live in my own house outside of the apartment building. I'm different. There's one dude. I knew Candel wasn't bad. Hey, look, I had to... Here's something. we're going to talk about this, and it's really a serious discussion in the chapter, but it's something that I also think the anime is probably going to ruin, not ruin, but like take away any sort of sense of mystery involving it very quickly. Okay? So, because it's manga and it's black and white, there's limitations to certain things. For instance, Gunko, we know, has blue hair. We don't know the hair colors of Reuven and Candel. So Reuven has black hair, but he could also have like dark red hair for all we know, right? Candel, we assumed had blue hair like Gunko. But, you know, she has, you know, she could be blonde for all we know. I just realized this doesn't work because Kando would still be the mom. It's sorry. I just woke up 2 hours ago. But no, I was thinking like, well, wait a minute. If Gunko is not the, like, no, if Kando could still have blue hair and this could work. Genetics is still a thing that works. But no, I was going to say that like, they might not be the parents. Like one of them was still probably the parent. Yeah. Do you think Brook was so traumatized by the experience he locked away the whole devil thing, failed to bring it up because of that? Yeah, there's definitely like a traumas, like he's definitely traumatized from this, right? Bruh, the Holy Knight has blue hair. He's her biological father. No, but that's what I was thinking. I was just like, if Candel is blonde and Reuven has black hair in the anime, Gunko having blue hair would make zero sense. So right away, as soon as this flashback starts in the anime and you see Candel and you see Reuven, if they don't have blue hair, you're instantly going to be like, what the fuck is up here? Something's going to happen, right? We don't know that because the manga, we're not sure. But if the Celestial Dragon, it doesn't matter what hair color the Celestial Dragon is, if he did some horrible things to Candel when they first showed up, and you know, he's the actual father, Candel is still the mother, if she has blue hair, then that still all makes sense. Somebody had to have blue hair here, okay? Yeah. So that can make sense. Something else people brought up was Brook's scar. So Brook has this, like, I've heard it described as a horseshoe, but I've also described it as omega, the omega symbol, you know, in like the Greek alphabet. So Brook has this scar on his face, and this is actually something that carries over to when he's a skeleton. You can kind of see it a little bit there. Let me see if I can get a better image of it. Here it is. There's a better image of it. So he still has that little mark there, and he has yet to receive that as far as this flashback has gone at age 28. He still doesn't have it. So in the next chapter, he could get that from maybe Shuri or the God's Knight or the Gorosei. And that can maybe mess with his memory. I mean, it's a pretty deep gash because it goes all the way down to his fucking skull. So it's not just like a flesh wound. It's there. And I guess it's also possible he could have received this while he was traveling with the Rumbar crew, but I doubt it. I doubt it. He's probably received this scar right before he left the Asperia, ended up on the Rumbar crew, and then maybe... I hope it's not amnesia to the level of, like, Brook doesn't even remember who he was or, like, anything that was going on. That doesn't seem to be the case. But at least that exchange with Shuri and Reuven in the throne room might be kind of hazy. Yeah. Brook never sees Mars, only the other elders. That is true. That is true. He runs into Saturn. They block the attack there. Marcus Mars, you are the father. I don't think Mars is the father. I think it's the Celestial Dragon dude, that the big burly guy that's smoking the cigarello at the end of the chapter, right? Now, let's talk about him really quick. Why didn't they have a human hunting contest like in God Valley? Because they select certain non-affiliated countries, I think, usually for that. And this, look, if the government wants something, they're just going to show up. Right? Like, they're just gonna, like... So if this is the situation as I currently understand it, Celestial Dragon visits Asperia, horrible things are done to Candel. Candel is bedridden. She is pregnant with Gunko. The Celestial Dragon is the father. Then Reuven marries her to, like, you know, keep her honor and everything, and then they become the king and queen of Asperia. Gunko is born. That might also explain maybe the heterochromia a little bit. And then... 15 years later, Celestial Dragon shows up again. You know, the absent parents, the assholes they show up and they're like, I want my child now. And then so they show up. And then now they're like, oh, we're just going to wipe out the kingdom and take what's ours, as it were. right? That seems to be the idea how we go here. So that's the way I'm kind of envisioning it. Now, a lot of people are saying that the not, we don't know if he's old, the guy that's sitting there smoking the cigarette, that's Kong. I've heard a lot of people saying it must be Kong. It's Kong. I think it's just people saying it's Kong because there's really not a lot of other like big burly dudes that we know that would be around this time period. And so Kong is like the only one that would make sense, but it's not Kong. So Kong is the current commander-in-chief of the world government. We don't know how old he is, but he's at least older than Sengoku and Suru and everybody because he is like their senior, right? He's tired. He's a sleepy man. But yeah, he's a big, burly, super jacked dude. Look at those arms. You know what I mean? So I want to say, honestly, for this to make sense, he would have to be at least 10 years older than, like, Sengoku and Garp and everybody, which would put him in his, like, late 80s in this image right here. But it's One Piece, and people can be really, really, you know, tough and superhuman. So, like, it's not impossible that this guy could be pushing 90 right now, and he's still this fucking jacked. But even so, it's not Kong. Like, it just doesn't work. Kong was always a Marine. It would be like this guy was clearly dressed like a God's Knight. So it'd be like Kong would have had to have been like a God's Knight 60-something years ago, and then he demoted and went to the Marines and became a vice admiral, then an admiral, then a fleet admiral, then the commander-in-chief. It just doesn't make any sense to be Kong. So I think it's just because, like, oh, who else do we know that would have been alive that would have been a big burly dude 62 years ago? Kong would have probably been in his, like, 20s or 30s at this point. So that it lines up that way. But even then, wait, actually, hold on. Let me see if I can run the metrics on this here. Yeah, no, he would have probably been in his 20s. He would if he's pushing 90 right now, he'd be in his, like, 20s. But it's just, that doesn't make sense to be Kong. He's dressed like a celestial dragon. He's dressed like, honestly, like Garling is dressed, with the little symbols to indicate that he might be the commander-in-chief of the supreme commander of the Gods Knights, is I think what's more likely. Because we have this image of Garling here, and Garling has these two little images, these little, like, icons on his jacket, and, yeah. The Vinsmoke theories are because Brooke kind of knew about the Germa. Brooke was like, oh, the Germa, hearing their voices or hearing their names sends a shiver down my spine. Yoo-hoo-hoo-hoo! He says this during Whole Cake. So, like, or it might have been Zoe when they learned about the Germa. So Brooke knows about them, but he's not from the north, and the Germa are from the north. He's from the west. So, like, that sort of started a theory that the Germa were ones that actually killed the Rumbar crew with the poison weapons. You know, maybe that's a Germa there, but once again, he's very clearly a member of the world government with his outfit that he's wearing. Yeah, that seems to be the case there. Run a poll on who this guy is. Well, I'd have to put people in the poll. We're not really sure. I guess Kong and a Germa, I guess. Who else can we put on the poll? Just because he's dressed like a God's Knight. I mean, he's dressed exactly like a God's Knight. Like, he has the same, like, sigils on him. So, like, unless he's really... And he's hanging out with a Gorosei. So, like... It's really I think it's really pushing it to say that he's not a God's Knight. I think it's pushing it. Like, he's in the room with two Domi Reversied individuals that only Emu can Domi Reversi with a Gorosei, and he's just chilling out smoking a cigar. I am an unrelated faction in all this. Like, nah, I'm pretty sure he's a God's Knight. Yeah. They can travel the red line. Well, it would be weird. They'd have to go from the north onto the red line, down, and then into the west. But it's possible, yeah. Now, the toxic smog thing, I threw out that it might be the Itsumade. It might be Marcus's ability, because the Itsumade in Japanese folklore is this bird that screams Itsumade, which means until when, as a question, as people are ill and die from a disease. And so that's kind of fitting. So maybe it could be that, but it also could be the effects of, people have been saying the smoke fruit, but I like more of the idea is that this is a previous user of the gas fruit, because this would have been before Caesar was born. If it was a gas fruit user, that would be different. The smog is lingering for 6 months, though, so I'm not really sure exactly how that would go. Could be Kureha, yeah, totally. It could be Kureha, yeah. I don't think the smog, I don't think this fog has anything to do with the Florian Triangle. I don't. Thoughts on the theory that Gunko is specifically made to be a vessel for Emu? That makes a little bit more sense now that from what we're saying. And I think it's more of just like, I don't know, maybe Kando was a descendant of Vivi, or not a descendant of Vivi, a descendant of Lily. Or Emu's just really into women that have blue hair. You know, I don't know. Something like that. Maybe there's some weird prophecy or some shit. What if the God's Knights hunted down the Rumbar pirates or Marcus Mars since they have poison weapons? Also, could Shuri join the crew? I threw out that Shuri might join the Straw Hats at the end of the last chapter. I threw that out, actually. That could be a case. I doubt it, but we'll see. We could throw one more Straw Hat in there before we reach the final part of the story, right? Yeah, why not? But yeah, there's an idea that the God's Knights chased down the Rumbar crew because Brooke was like the only person maybe that did remember what actually happened with the Domi Reversi and everything. So it's like, oh, he's the one dude, we have to make sure he dies. And it could have been him. Yeah. The world government wanted slaves and figured out Leuven or Shuri would be the best candidates, so they Domi Reversi'd Shuri and Leuven, made them fight each other, and Leuven gets consciousness for a split second and let Shuri kill him. Could have been something similar. That's kind of the same thing that happened with Harald. I'm always kind of, like, interested in, like, how are we going to, like, go about, like, different flashback ideas? You know what I mean? Like, how that's going to go. Because, like, I don't want this to be... We just had this flashback with, Rox and the Domi Reversi of how Rox was defeated, and then that led into the flashback where that was the flashback with Harald and how he was killed by Loki. And in both instances, it was kind of like Rox speaking to Garp and Roger, like, hey, please kill me. I don't want to be like this anymore. And we good? We good? I think we're good now. Okay. Ruh-roh, Scooby. Ruh-roh, Shaggy. Okay. Stream's alive. We're good now. Okay, we glitched out there for a moment. Okay, so I just, like, how many times does this happen where it's like, I'm Domi Reversi'd, you need to stop me. I'm Domi Reversi'd, Loki, you need to stop me. Although Harald wasn't exactly, it wasn't the same exact thing, but it was still the same basic premise, right? So, being manipulated and shit like that. So, I don't know how many times we can get mileage out of this before it becomes kind of like rote, kind of a little bit like, oh, okay, they become a sense of themselves, like, please, Shuri, you need to kill me before it's too late, I can't, father, please, you must, daddy, no, so yeah. Oda is really good at making me care. Oh yeah, Oda's really good at making you care about people and places after only seeing them for like 2 chapters. He's really good at that shit. It's really tragic, too. My stream got Domi Reversi'd. Oh, no! Can I Domi Reversi my stream? Hold on a second. Give me a sec here. I have an idea. Domi Reversi! No! Okay. All right, we're done now. Okay, that's enough. Okay, that's enough now. That's enough now. Let's just move this back over. Okay. Why do characters in One Piece not see the bat wings and devil horns? It's not that they don't see them. Brook walked into... Listen, all we literally got from the last chapter is Brook walked into a room, and he saw that, and he freaked the fuck out. That's all. And the expression on his face, I think, matched the scene that he was seeing. Like, like that was pretty much it. So he didn't say anything about the bat wings, but he didn't say anything at all. He was kind of stunned, When there's like a million things going on where it's like, Okay, let's go down the line here. Your entire kingdom is at war with the world government. Everything that you've ever loved and care about is being burned to the ground. The castle is burning to the ground. The garden is burning to the ground. The junkyard you used to play in is burning to the ground. Everybody you know and the other guardsmen are dying around you. You barge into the throne room. You see the princess that you're there to protect dressed up like a demon with blood as she stabbed her father, who is your benefactor, on the ground, also with wings, in a puddle of his own blood, as an evil demonic bird is looming over everything, and this dude is just smoking a cigar like, I would imagine Brooke might not even notice that fucking guy. I don't even know if that was the first thing you'd even notice, is the guy hanging out smoking a cigar. He's kind of honestly in the background as far as this is concerned. Yeah. Techo ad? Yeah, I'm going to be at Techo this year. July 25th, we'll be doing 2 panels. We'll be doing a Bleach trivia and a One Piece trivia. I got to get the questions and the prizes for that still, so we got to work on that. But it's going to be a fun time. It's either he didn't notice, something happened with his memory, either from manipulation or he got slashed. And the scar is what did it. Something happened there, yeah. But yeah, Brooke was clearly convinced in the modern day, in the present day, that Shuri had killed her father in cold blood. That seems to have been, because he was pissed off. He was angry. So he wasn't like, I was trying to rack my brain, trying to figure out why you would have done that. And it's like, well, you did have evil bat wings, so maybe that was the reason. I don't think it's the case you can't see the... I'm pretty sure you could see the wings. I'm pretty sure you could see the transformation. I think if normal people could not see the transformation, I feel like Oda would have referenced that by now. Like, would have directly referenced it like they can't see the wings or something. When do we get back to the cover stories? Yeah, I mean, like, it's been a while since we've had a cover story. I would like to see something with Sentomaru and Stussy from Egghead, because they usually reference things from the previous arc. Yeah. I would accept some illusion filter. I mean, yeah, but I feel like also that would have been referenced at this point. Yeah, not seeing the wings would be crazy as fuck. Hold on. What chapter was Domi Reversi? Hold on a minute. Let's get to the bottom of this. Let's get to the bottom of this shit. I think it was like 1140. No, 1150. It was 1150. All right, so 1150 was the first time we see Domi Reversi. Okay, so we see... Okay, no, this is bullshit. Right here, Bragi gets turned into a fucking... Let me show you this. Look at this, look at this. No. Look at this. Okay, here. This is literally in the chapter where this happens. Bragi turns into a giant demon, and the other giants are like, he really just turned into a demon! Alright, they can see the fucking wings. Alright, like, they can clearly see him turning into a demon. So this is either some kind of, like, it's different depending on the individual, though, because sometimes you grow fangs. Shuri didn't grow fangs. Sometimes you grow, like, bigger, and Shuri and Reuven didn't seem to grow bigger. So, like, yeah, no, this is bullshit. You can see the wings. It's like, there's like, oh my god, he turned into a demon! His face is scary. Yeah, okay, so they're mentioning these, yeah. I can't see the wings. The wings are right there! The wings are right there! Right on his back. They're right here, right above the speech bubble. Yeah. What wings? Okay. Yeah. As for everybody else, like, I don't know. I feel like if you run up to someone that looks like that's been Domi Reversi'd, like, I feel like not every individual is going to be like, whoa, they have wings and fangs now. And then, like, Big Mom, whoa, they have wings and fangs now. And then Kaido shows up, whoa, they have wings and fangs now. You know, like, not everybody's going to reference it. Be like, whoa, that looks weird. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I'm pretty sure they could see what they're doing here. And then they turn into this. And then everyone starts losing their shit. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Judge's original name was Count Saint Germain because of, yes. Which I actually might have actually enjoyed that more than Judgy. I'm just looking through this more here to see what they're all saying. And then go into the nightmare creatures. Okay, yeah. But they can clearly see that they're turning into demons. Yeah. I'm going to talk about Bleach again, yeah, when it comes out in July. I'll be making videos about it again on the Boncast channel. What if the guy smoking is Shuri's real dad? Yeah, that's probably, it seems to be the most likely the case, yeah. Maybe not exactly 100%, but, like, it seems to be the direction we're going here. Is Gunko the only known victim, the only known long-lived victim of Domi Reversi? Yeah, I mean, she would chronologically be the oldest if she's like 77 right now. Then yeah, she would be. Because Harald is dead. I guess Harald would have been the oldest when he was not, once again, Harald wasn't technically Domi Reversi'd. It was like a different type of manipulation, but like he was still being possessed by Emu. Although it was different because Emu wasn't like directly speaking through him. It was more of like he was becoming evil. He was giving into more. It's a very odd possession. It's a very odd manipulation because it's like you still think you're you. It's just like all of your. It's like all of your morals and ethics seem to be like reversed, but you're still like identifying as you. Like you still have all of your memories and things. Those don't go away. But you just give in. Like Harald was like, I need to kill my son and get the strongest devil fruit to rule with an iron fist. You know, that was kind of that. I want to keep the Hunter x Hunter content coming up, yeah. I did a video on Skill Hunter this past week. I think I'm going to do a video on the spiders next. Like I'm going to go through the different, like, Phaeton's Pain Packer and shit. I'll go through those next, yeah. Wait, Frankie has blue hair, but Queen has yellow. I guess that means that Frankie's mom had blue hair. There you go. That's a pretty easy one, I think. I don't think the Rumbar pirates fought against the gas fruit user because they used like poisoned arrows and stuff. You know, gas weapons would be different. It's weird because I'm always like torn between that. Like, oh, they used like did Oda put that in there just like, oh yeah, they used poison weapons to explain why the Rumbar crew they don't die right away. They survive for a little longer, long enough to sing Bing Sake, and then they die one after another. Or are people looking way too into the poison weapon thing? Like, oh, poison weapons, it must be this faction, or this devil fruit user, or this person. And it's just like, maybe they just use poison fucking arrows, man. Like, they're probably not that hard to come across. You can make them, you know? So it might not be anything more deeper than that. Like, honestly, I'm always conflicted about what are we like, okay, is Oda going in the long game with this, or is this just something just, like, we're not supposed to look into too much? Yeah. Your inner dark intentions supersedes your personality. Playing with your dark thoughts, your very devil-like power. Yeah. Yeah, that's basically how it went with Harald. Like, Harald probably thought about it, like, before of, like, I want to eat the legendary devil fruit, but, you know, I'm not worthy, or that it's not good. You know, I shouldn't do that. I have to worry about my people. But, like, the desire was maybe there. It might not have been a big desire, but it might have still been there in Harald. And then when the Domi Reversi is activated, it's just like he all of a sudden is just like, I need this now. I need this power. Yeah. I want to kill my son. You know, well, every parent goes through. It's like, damn, kid, you're really annoying me right about now. It just gets brought to the forefront. Oh, man. Yeah, I could do manga-only Nen abilities, too. There's actually quite a few of them I'd like to talk about. I'd like to talk about Morena's, or, what's her name? Is it Morena? Morena? Yeah, it's Morena. Yeah. Morena. Not really sure how to pronounce it. Morena. Yeah. I like to talk about hers. Hers is pretty creepy. Oh, the chapter's out. I would say Shuri having a little bit of hatred for her father. I mean, she was going through her teenage years, so there's like that moment of rebellion, and Brooke even had the moment where he was singing the song like, hey, if you're feeling a little bit cooped up by your parents and you want some freedom and go out there in the world and be on your own and have some independence, like sing this song and you can like vent. So like that makes more sense to me. Yeah. Morena. Gotcha. So, oh no, new chapter coming in half an hour. Oh, it still is not out yet. Okay. Interesting. She was also annoyed right before the fight. So maybe it comes down to like the emotions you have when you're Domi Reversi. That might do something too. I did read the recent Berserk chapter. I've read it. I honestly think I need to go back and reread a little bit of Berserk because I read all of Berserk in 2023. So it's been 3 years already, and I can remember like a lot of stuff, but like there's certain parts of the story I don't remember exactly because it's been 3 years since I've read it. I have all of the hardcovers though, so I could just go and read them. I can read it again whenever I want. The chapter is out. I mean, I refreshed it on... There it goes. I literally just had to refresh it once. Okay. Oh my god. The official Viz translation of y'all better buzz off is mind ya own beeswax. That is literally the title they use. So, like, to reference the accent here, the dialect. Oh my god, that's great. Hold on. That's fantastic. Hold on. W name. So, like, I gotta adjust a bunch of shit here. All right, let's give it an outline. Okay. There we go. That is literally what they spelled it as. Mind your own beeswax. Which they got actual people to like help translate stuff. Or mind, not minja. Hold on. There we go. I just feel like they wanted to be different. Well, I mean, hey, if it gets the basic idea around, then it's fine. So, yeah, I want to look at the lyrics of those songs, really. So, let's see. When you want to be independent from your parents, why not sing the song for a change, princess? Mind your own beeswax. Mind your own beeswax. I ain't some puppy dog lured by the candy store. I ain't a kid at all anymore. Okay. That's the story. That's the lyrics here. Yeah. Isn't that too silly for a song being sung? I think that's the idea. Brooke is singing that song as a juxtaposition as his entire city is burning down, like the entire country is burning down. He's singing it to try to like maintain. I think he's trying to just be still kind of like not uplifted, but like get him through this. Like, I'm just gonna sing this song like I did, because that's all Brooke's done his entire life to get through trauma, is sing songs about the trauma or sing songs over the trauma is what he does. He's done this ever since he was a little kid. So his whole country's burning down. He has to go and slice a bunch of people apart. And he's probably just like, Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb whose fleece was white as snow. Just slashing, cutting everybody down. He's just like, you gotta stay in the moment, I guess. I don't know. Oh, man. Hold on a minute. I got a phone call. Oh, I got some fan mail to open here. I got a box of fan mail a couple of weeks ago I want to open up as well. Yeah, the hawk with the eagle in it, or the eagle with the hawk on it. Yeah, the thing at the top of the Hervensfagerl. Yeah. It's definitely going to show up because like we've had the squirrel, we've had the needhog, the hawk needs to show up as well. Yeah. The quality of the art dropping. I don't think the quality of the art's dropped. I haven't noticed this. Is Reuven really Shuri's biological dad? We do not know, but the implication is, at least I'm going with, that it is he is not the father. He is not the father. Yeah. Do you feel like not as many people watch or read One Piece as before? I feel like it's been about the same amount. I haven't really I feel like if there was one big uptick of people that were like, you know what, fuck One Piece, I'm done with it, I feel like I would have seen more of that, and I really haven't. So yeah, there was a guy actually the other day. He made this video a couple of weeks ago, but I just watched it yesterday. I just saw it yesterday. He made a reaction video to my One Piece in 12 minutes. Kryptonite Corner reacts. He's a pretty cool dude. It seems like he talks about Western comics, like Superman stuff mainly. But he was getting into One Piece, and he did a reaction video to my One Piece explained in 12 minutes, and that was really cool because I don't see a lot of people doing reactions to my stuff. But he did one, and he really liked it. So thanks to him, and thanks to everybody in the comments. They were very nice. But yeah, no, I haven't really seen something lately that's been like, oh no, One Piece is dropping off, or people aren't watching it or reading it as much. Yeah. Yeah. Mori. The Mori Tekking 101 collab. A very weird thing. What if Biblo has the hawk fruit? It would be funny if Biblo... No, Biblo has the Grogro fruit. So, no. I'm assuming it's what Lilith said it was. It seems to be a devil fruit ability. I thought about updating that video since I watched it yesterday. It's only 2 years old, but there's a lot of stuff in there. But also I was considering when making that video, how much do I spoil about the story? Because it's supposed to be One Piece explained in 12 minutes. So I don't want to spoil everything that we know about everything, because that kind of stuff we had just learned in Egghead when that video came out. That video came out I think when Vegapunk had just started his message, or was in the middle of it. And I wouldn't have probably included stuff from the message in there, because that was brand new stuff that we were learning about the manga. It's for example, if I were to make that video now, would I include a segment on Domi Reversi? Probably not, because that's something that doesn't happen until way later. And would I include a segment on Imu Narona and show what he looks like? I mean, probably not, because that's a pretty big spoiler. It's the same reason when I talked about devil fruits in that video and I mentioned awakenings, I did not show Luffy's Gear 5th. I showed the Demon Guards, and I was like, yeah, there's awakenings. They happen sometimes, but they're rare. And that's all I said about them, because I don't want to spoil too much. Yeah. Turns out Pell's fruit was the legendary hawk fruit the whole time. Yeah, he was actually the legendary fruit. That's why he's still alive. Pell shows up at Elbath. Technically, he could. I mean, he could, I guess. It's not impossible. He's one of the only 5 devil fruits that can fly, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, so I was trying to balance between what I put in here and how far up in the story. I think the biggest spoiler I put in that video is when Zoro fights King. He combines armament and conquerors together to bypass his defense, and that's not something we learn you can do until Wano. I think that's the most spoilery thing I put in that video. And that video came out in 24, and I think we learned about that in 22. So, yeah. Will Carrot show up again? I mean, yeah. She will. Will she do anything? I don't know, but she'll probably show up again, yeah. See, I don't have a problem with this. And I think I can't speak for Oda, but I think this is what Oda's perspective on this is. Whenever a character has a flashback, you show the flashback, and you just like, okay, story, put on pause for the moment. We're going to show this flashback, and we'll pick right back up where we left off. Not a big deal. Like, I think that's Oda's perspective on it, and I really don't mind because I love the flashbacks because I love learning more about the world. So we could have 7 flashbacks in Elbaf, and I probably would not care. I'm never really gonna, like, if I complain, it's always, like, as a joke, like, tongue-in-cheek, like, another flashback, Oda, really? But, like, honestly, I love flashbacks, and I'm like, I'm never gonna be upset about, like, all right, right after Brooke's flashback, we're gonna get Frankie's flashback that's completely unrelated to anything going on in Elbaf. I'd be like, fuck it, yes, let's go, I want to see it. You know, like, that's me. That would be me. You know? I think it's fine. I mean, we got to put the flashbacks, like how else would the flashbacks incorporate? Because, like, if you don't want the flashbacks, I guess, in the mainline story arcs, they can only fit in between the story arcs, but that might not seem natural to do that, so I don't know. I'm fine with the way it is. I'm fine, like, when it comes up, like Usopp was like, hey, Brooke, you seem to know that woman. Who was she? The demon lady. Who was she? And then Brooke is like, let me tell you a story. And then, whoop, we transition into the story. And then okay, that was the story. I'm like, that's it. You know? It's like Loki's flashback. It only took 3 minutes, guys. It only took 3 minutes. Come on. Waiting for that Caribou flashback. Oh, the Caribou flashback. We actually did get a little bit of the Caribou flashback, honestly. Hold on a minute. Yeah, hold on. There is one panel. There's one thought bubble of a flashback with Caribou. Hold on. It's really funny, actually. Caribou and Caribou as they were growing up. Let's see. Okay. Yep, here it is. Are you guys ready for the Caribou and Caribou flashback? Because you're not ready for it, but here it is. The one panel where their grandmother was like, you need to get along, love and peace, and then gave a lollipop to both of them. There you go. You're brothers. You need to get together. You're all that you're going to have in the entire world. You got to love each other and be there for one another, okay? There it is. Oh. Do you think Oda has a size scaling problem? Yes, he does. If you look at the way the giants are supposed to be and the way that they're scaled to regular humans, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Like when Harold was walking through the Castle Pangea, we get to see the comparison between the Gorosei and his foot, and it's like, I think Oda's just like close enough kind of idea with the scaling. I don't think he's actually sitting down and planning out the scaling every single time he draws a giant next to a human. But I think suffice to say that considering just how massively tall Harold was compared to the Gorosei should be way taller. This is also a thing that comes around when, like, Odin. So, like, Odin is, like, a really big dude, and he has Enma and Ame no Habakiri, and Zoro uses Enma, like, and it's the same sword. Like, Enma would be, like, straight up, like, hold on, maybe not this severe, but, like, you know, if the sword is Zoro's size, if Zoro can manage Enma like an ordinary sword, then, like, Odin would be wielding, like, something more like this. It'd be like, I now draw my sword. Enma! Bring it on, Kaido! It wouldn't be this scale, but it would be a lot smaller. It'd be a lot smaller than the way that it should have been if Zoro can wield it properly, right? It's just, yeah, it's anime logic. It's kind of the same reason why, like, nobody's clothing really rips when they go into their devil fruit transformations. It's kind of like, I'm sure that was probably the reason. Oda was probably like, well, everybody's clothing changes when they use their devil fruit abilities. Swords change size too. It's whatever. Yeah, Odin's Enma should be like 7 feet long. Okay? So if the sword as Zoro wielded it, it would have probably have been more of like a kitchen knife for Odin or something like that, right? Yeah. It wouldn't have been, Odin had these big meaty fists. He would just take up like the entire like lower part of the sword while wielding it. Love from the blighted land of Birmingham. Is that Birmingham in England or Birmingham, Alabama? Either way, it's video game loot rolls. It is. It is. My favorite is, so there's a weapon in Baldur's Gate 3 that's actually inaccessible. You have to use a mod in order to get it. But it's the Scythe of Merkel. It's Merkel's scythe that he uses to fight you. Merkel in the game is the avatar of Merkel is this giant, like, looming avatar of death. He's like the Grim Reaper. He's just like, is this huge scythe. And you can get it. You can get a mod or you get the inaccessible weapons and you get it and it just shrinks down to like however big you are. Yeah. Yeah, the picture, I've seen a few size comparisons between Enma when Zoro wields it and Enma when Odin wields it. Yeah. So it's one of those things. You're just supposed to just like, this isn't really that important. It doesn't mean that Enma is a magic size changing sword, except it is, but you're not supposed to care about that. Yeah. Literally theory crafting on Baldur's Gate 3 right now. I thought about doing another Baldur's Gate 3 run because I've done like 7 or 8 right now. But I thought about doing another one. I've never played a paladin. I've played paladins, like I've respect, but I've never played a paladin as my character. So I'm thinking about doing a run through where I just oops all paladins, where it's just a roving gang of lawful good paladins. Everybody's a paladin. Everybody changes their class, and we just roll through Act 1 and just wholly burn everything in our path. Cool shirt. Looks like a Domi reverse seed Goomba. Maybe. Yeah, I got it in Japan. I'm trying to think where I bought it. I know I bought this at the airport. I bought this right before we left. Like when we were in the airport waiting for our flight, I was walking around and they had a clothing shop and I found this thing and there is a back to it. It's pretty cool. I don't know if you can see it there. Yeah. So, yeah. It's pretty neat. Ugh. It's been a year. It has. Airport stuff is always a scam. I mean, I'm there. I saw a shirt that I liked. I saw the price. I agreed with the price and I bought it. I mean, that's how it goes. Yeah. In Baldur's Gate 3, paladins always break their vows. See, that's the thing. I'll be a bunch of paladins that won't break their vows. Favorite D&D party role? I'm always like more of a support guy. Here's what I'll do. I'll play, this is the William in me. I'll play a support character, but then I'll run into a battle and be like, I got this. So that's always fun. Pick up Minthara. I've played Minthara as a paladin, and I like respecking Will as a paladin because I think it makes more sense. But because he's definitely paladin coded. But yeah. Can you send me a box of Tokyo banana? I'm no longer in Tokyo, sorry. Casey and Zach just got back from Mallorca, from Spain. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that island correctly, but they just got back from Spain, and they get home, and they have, like, they bought a bunch of stuff, like groceries, and she's like, I have way too many peaches, like a metric fuck ton of peaches. So, like, she bought too many, and I'm just like, okay, well, I guess I'll take some peaches, I guess. So... yeah. I have like 9 people coming down to my house every week to play D&D. So I always end up with like, hey, do you guys need any snacks? I don't have room for this anymore. Here you go. Majorca. There we go. Majorca. Majorca. I like that. Majorca. But it's a beautiful island from what they sent me pictures. I would love to go visit someday. Yeah. Dude, I'm not going to go through my entire budget for the trip to Japan. It was several $1,000s. We were there for 2 weeks. Like hotel, all the souvenirs, all the stuff we did. I don't know how much money it was. I haven't sat down and gone through all my books, and I wouldn't tell you that number anyway. But it's a few $1,000s to spend 2 weeks in Japan, which there it is. Okay. Whatever. Okay. Mallorca. Yeah. Millions of peaches. Peaches for days. Last D&D session, I made a warlock cursed with levitation. And I had, yeah, it was at least $3. It was at least $3 in Japan, yeah. Yeah, there was a lot. Now, here's a tip for you in Japan, because I traveled with a big-ass group. There was 7 of us, okay? Here's the thing. So, one thing, and I understand why they do this, in the States, whenever you go out to eat somewhere, it's pretty easy to divvy up the check of like, oh, these 2 people are paying, and then these 3 together, and then I'm by myself, and then this person's by themselves, and then like that's the way we do it. I think just for simplicity's sake in Japan, they don't want you to do that. It's a real pain to do that, so they all just want you to pay all at once. So like a good chunk of the trip, it's like, oh, I got this, and so I'll pay for the entire bill for the entire check. And then everybody else just like Venmos me after, you know what I mean? Like, or like that's how it goes, right? And you know, it's like my friend was like, "Oh, I'll take care of this." And it's like, "Oh, I'll just Venmo whatever I thought was fair." That was the vast majority of the trip. Whenever we ate out in a large group, which happened often. So yeah, it's pretty common, and it's just to make things simple and just go things fat. You don't want to, yeah. You don't want to be the complicated tourists that are like, wait a second, there's 7 of us, so these 3 are together, and then these 2 are together, and then these 2 are together, you know what I mean? So, yeah. I got bummed D&D got canceled last week. I need to see with the Crocodile family. I have a plan for the Crocodile family. I just see how this is going to go. Yeah. Isn't the North Blue and West Blue between the Grand Line, not the Red Line? It is between the Grand Line, but I'm saying that, like, if the Germa were to, hold on a minute, if the Germa wanted to travel from the North Blue to the West Blue, they could do that. And there's a couple of different ways to do it. It really just depends on which is more dangerous, which is easier to do. So this would be Calm Belt. Just let me write this down here. Calm Belt, North, West, New World, and then this would be like the entrance to Reverse Mountain over here. Okay. And then, you know, entrance to, this is fucked up, but whatever. I fucked that up. It's fine. Okay. Red Line. Okay. So this is the situation, right? Okay. So if the Germa are in the north, there's 2 ways to get to the West Blue. You can either just go straight south, but in order to do that, you're going to have to sail through 2 calm belts and the New World. That might be a little dangerous. The other way to do it, which would be maybe a little safer, is just to go this way, up the Red Line, across the Red Line. Now, I don't know how this is going to work because Reverse Mountain's there. You might have to, you know, slime your way with those snails over the river. I'm not sure how that would work. But another way to do it would be this way. But I don't even know if that's feasible because Reverse Mountain's there. And you can't really go this way because Marie Joie is over here. But I think they've definitely gone this way before. They've definitely just gone straight over the Red Line into the east. Yeah. So they've just, like, literally hopped over the Red Line into the East Blue. Yeah. And apparently they do that often. Like, they did it because they got, like, some kind of contract to go fight a war in the East Blue. But that contract must have been a lot of fucking berries for them to grab up everything. Like, all right, guys, we got to go over the Red Line, I guess. I'd be like, that's, like, a pretty big deal. It must have been a lot of money there on the line. Yeah. It does look like Brooke is wearing leggings. Yeah, I did notice that. I didn't bring it up in the chapter, but I did notice it while I was reading it. Like, is Brooke wearing leggings? I know he's not, but it kind of does look like he is. What about the West Blue? The West Blue. No, it's not W for Weast. It's W for Wombo. The Wombo Blue. Those are battle trousers. Yeah. Battle trousers. Oh, yeah. Go through the super chats here. See if I missed any. Did Brooke see Mars at Egghead? I don't know. I mean, I don't think he did, but I'd have to go back and recheck like everything. I know they had an encounter with Saturn on top of the Labo phase, but I'd have to go back and check everything. When we get back to the cover stories, yeah, I want to see a Sentomaru one, because Sentomaru got away at the end of Egghead. Stussy, we also don't know what happened to her. So let's have Sentomaru and Stussy's sad reflection journey or something. I don't know. Emu or the rind of Zeo Dadong. That's Zeo Dadong. That's a deep cut right there. You know. Random question. What devil fruit do you think would be the best for each ancestry? Like the spring fruit for a long arm or a long leg. I'd say the spring fruit would work better for a long leg. Like if Blue Gilly got like the spring fruit, that would probably be really good for him. Yeah, that's an interesting one to go through, like which perfect, because like Law had like the perfect devil fruit for him, and occasionally you'll find people that have like the absolute best devil fruit for who they are and their interests and their personalities and everything that works out perfectly. But if they're like specific, like a long leg having this ability would be more powerful, or a giant having the Needhog Zoan. Yeah, that is, or an ancient giant, I should say. That would be an interesting idea for a video. Would Brooke be fully okay with Shuri right now, since it doesn't seem like Brooke remembers or realizes Shuri was being possessed? I feel like Shuri would explain to Brooke, like, Brooke, you don't understand, I was being possessed. And then Brooke would be like, oh, okay, that makes sense then. Yo-ho-ho-ho! Sorry for all the hatred. Answered that one. I'm gonna sneeze, maybe. Maybe not. Okay, so when Brooke meets Yorkie, what would you think is still on Hesperia, or would Brooke end up on some other island in the west? I don't know how this is going to go with the Rumbar crew. If, like, Yorkie's going to show up and be, like, helping the Kingdom of Hesperia, and then Brooke has to jump on his ship and leave, or if Brooke is, like, it could be a situation where the Rumbar crew show up after the battle is over, like, the whole island is blasted into ruin, and everyone's dead except for, like, Brooke. There's a few stragglers, and Yorkie shows up with the Rumbar crew, like, hey, mateys, what happened here? And then that's when Brooke meets him. It could be something like that. Do you think that Marine could be the Admiral that Rox killed at Marijois? I don't think it's a Marine. If you're talking about the dude smoking the cigar, I think it's a God's Knight. I think it's a God's Knight. I don't know why. I don't get it exactly why a lot of people are pushing for Admiral for that guy. He does not dress like any Admiral we've ever seen, past, present, or future. I just don't personally see it myself. But a lot of people have dead set that guy as being an Admiral. I've seen a lot of theories about it. And I'm just not sure where it comes from. And I think I answered that one, and I think I answered that one. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's Kong, maybe. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. It really doesn't fit Kong. Yeah, he's not in a suit. He doesn't wear the Admiral clothing. Kong would have been alive at this point. He would have been in his 20s. But this guy is clearly dressed like a celestial dragon, like a God's Knight. He's hanging out with a Gorosei. He has emblems on his jacket that look like the God's Knight emblems that Garling was wearing. He doesn't dress in a way that we've ever seen an Admiral. So I'm not going to say he's an Admiral. I think it's just because he's smoking a cigar like Akainu. Yeah, probably. He does have an Akainu Shiryu kind of thing going on. What's my biggest gripe with Fairy Tail? I guess there's two. And I've read like 100 chapters of 100-Year Quest, and I know there's more to it, and I'd have to read more. But I'm not a fan of a lot of the way the fights end. I think the artwork is good. I just don't like the way that, like, I feel like you can get away with the, hey, I can beat this opponent if I just have my friends kind of thing. You can get away with that once, maybe twice in a manga. You do it too many times, it just becomes rote and kind of boring. and I wish the magic system was a little bit more fleshed out. I don't know if we learn more about that in like the later stages of 100-Year Quest or whatever. If that's kind of the idea of like maybe Mashima going back and like adding some stuff that he wish he would have added in the original. But I don't really hate it so much. It's more of just like I kind of acknowledge Fairy Tail as like this is like junk food anime. This is just like just it's cool fight. Natsu punches thing really hard. It's cool. It's badass. Just enjoy it. You know what I mean? Don't try to like break it down too much. I don't think Mashima's really putting that much thought into it. So I don't think you should either, kind of thing. Yeah. Like I could break down the Manmeyer family. Yeah, the Manmeyer family makes sense because we know that Gunko is a Manmeyer. Also, I'm going to make a whole video breaking this down, but like I think it's very possible that the God's Knights go around the world and they do horrible things to people and then they leave and then they come back later when the kids are like older, or at least born, as in the case with Shanks and Shamrock, and just be like, oh yeah, that's right, I hooked up with you like a year ago, or like 10 years ago, or whatever. Oh, those are the kids. Those are going to be the new God's Knights, okay? Because you got to keep new God's Knights, new Celestial Dragons being brought to the mainland, brought to Marijua, right? So it's like, oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, you. Kill you, and then take the kid, right? I think that probably happens a lot from what we're seeing here. Yeah. Oh, no, he's a hard worker. The artwork is phenomenal. I'm just like, in terms of like plot beats in the story, they could be very repetitive. It's like, you know, kind of how it's all going to go down. It's like, there's one that really just like, I think he's very tongue-in-cheek, directly just talking to the audience about. And it's the scene when Urza just gets tortured and brutalized. And it's like, she's so injured and beat up. And then she just kind of turns around and wins. And Happy is just there and just like, yeah, she wins because she's Urza. And I'm like, okay, that's basically the admission that like, okay, you as the author are not taking this seriously. It's like, it doesn't matter. Urza wins because she's Urza. She hits the win button. It's time for her to win because the plot is wrapping up and the arc is wrapping up and it's time for her to win. Okay, gotcha. As long as we're all on the same page about that. All right. Yeah. The new Animal Signal manga. It has a bunch of animal facts and animal powers. I haven't seen that. No, is it a new viz? Well, then let me check. Let's see. What are the new manga that are out? Howl Formula. That's a brand new one. Oh, are we getting new chapters of Ruri Dragon? Oh, okay. I gotta get caught up on those. One Piece. I don't know about One Piece. I don't know if this One Piece manga is going to take off, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. It has 1,185 chapters. I just don't feel it. Kagurabachi. Animal Signal. There's the one. I'll check that out. Ruri Dragon. Sakamoto Days. Ichi the Witch. Ultimate Exorcist Kyoshi. I read one chapter of that, and I wasn't a fan. And the reason I wasn't a fan of the one chapter was just because it seemed like it was the same kind of thing of like, oh, this character is actually this super broken OP character, and I just kind of read a lot of manga that already did that, so I was like, I'm not really in the mood for another one of these. But I hear really good things about this, and it's now almost at 100 chapters, so I think I'm going to go back and try this again. Kinato's Magic, Akane Banashi, which I still read. Someone Hurts. It's like a sound kind of thing. Drawn to the Fire. Okay. Yeah. Kagurabachi is fantastic. I hear good things about Kagurabachi. Yeah. I mean, I really don't have a lot to say about the ending of Black Clover. It ended in the way that I expected it to end, and I think it ended in the way a lot of people expected it to end, you know? Like, there was no big surprises at the end. I think Tabata just needs definitely a rest and time to spend with his family after everything that's happened, and he just really wanted to get it done, and he got it done. And it's not a bad ending in the slightest. It did not feel rushed. It didn't feel anything like that. It felt like, yeah, this ended the way I think there was just no surprises to it. It's just like, it ended. It ended. It had its thing that it had. It ended. Yeah. Very much in the same way, the way Naruto ended. Like, Naruto ended with Naruto being the Hokage. It's like, okay, there it is. Yeah, we expected that to be the case, and it was. There you go. There wasn't any huge, big shock moments at the very end of Naruto. Maybe. Maybe we'll get a teaser for the Hell arc at the end of the Core 4 of Bleach. That's coming up soon. I meant Gachiakuta is trash anime. I've read the first 2 volumes of Gachiakuta. I've not seen the anime yet. What's that other one? Oh, what's that one? Hell's Paradise. That's been out for a while, but I was watching the anime of Hell's Paradise the other day. I like that. Or it was a few weeks ago. It was before I went to Japan. Dude, who cares about Crazy Taxi? I do. I care about Crazy Taxi. Just because that guy said that, I'm going to talk in this voice the entire rest of this stream. Oh, yeah. Crazy Taxi. How you doing? What do you think the next One Piece movie will be about? Well, I think it's going to be crazy. I think it's going to be really crazy. I think it's going to be the maximum amount of crazy. I think there's going to be taxis in it. Okay. All right, even I'm annoyed at that bit, so we're gonna stop now. Are you still reading Vagabond? I have the second volume that I have not, the second omnibus that I have not read through yet. Yeah, Hell's Paradise is good. I'm liking Hell's Paradise, yeah. Gachiakuta is a trash anime. There's no other way. Listen, if you've read or watched Gachiakuta, it is a trash manga. Like, that is the best accurate way to describe it. I'm sorry. I've read Soul Eater, yes. Have you watched any Baki? Very little. Baki is a little too ridiculous for me. I have a moment, like, look, I get it, I do. I'm just watching it, and I'm like, I don't think it's for me. It's too ridiculous, you know? The scene when Yujiro Hanma met Obama, and Obama's like, well, Mr. Hanma, since you're more stronger than a nuclear bomb. I'm like, fuck this, I'm out. This is fucking absurd. I can't. I'm sorry. I'm out. Like, I can't. It's funny, don't get me wrong. I've seen the clips. It's funny. But, like, nah, I can't. I can't. Yes, Baki is too crazy for the One Piece fan. Apparently it is. Yeah, it is apparently, yeah. Yujiro Hanma punched an earthquake into submission. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go back to London someday. I'll definitely go back to England. Baki is lunacy. It is, yes. Apparently it is, yeah. You finished Fire Force? No. I've seen the end of Fire Force. I've read the first 4 volumes and then the last chapter. That's my experience with Fire Force. I would say Baki's more ridiculous than JoJo. I want to bring back, yeah, I'll do the tournament streams again. I just wanted to take a break, and I think we're going to do a different series next time I do them. Or a multitude of series together. It's just, you got to be careful exactly how you do that and, like, which characters I'm bringing in. But then again, they are tournaments that are, like, different, like, challenges. So, like, it's Goku versus Usopp. It's like, well, Goku would just blow up the planet. Yeah, but it's a chess competition, though. Bam. It's a math competition. Good fucking luck, Goku. All right? Never had a day of schooling in his life. I like a lot of fantasy stuff over sci-fi. I'm not a huge... I like some sci-fi stuff, but I just like the fantasy aesthetic more, especially the more richer the world building is. Then, you know, the more... What's the best way for me to describe it? The more I can tell the author put a shit ton of thought into where this takes place and the politics and the different countries and the geography and how that all meshes together, like, the more that I feel an author has cared about that, the more I will probably like the series. Yeah. It doesn't necessarily have to be fiction. Like, I'm reading Dungeon Crawler Carl right here, which is very science fiction. It's science fiction crossed with fantasy. And I'm loving that series right now. I'm on book 5. Dr. Stone, I love, but I also... the way it's ending, like it's ending soon, and in the anime, and it ended in the manga like 3 years ago. But I'm not a fan of the ending of Doctor Stone, and I'm not a fan of the way that characters are depicted sometimes in Doctor Stone. Yeah, a lot of times reading Dr. Stone, I get the impression the author is just like, okay, this character is just going to behave this way because the plot kind of demands it now and we need to get this moving. So, yeah, here we go. And it's like that happens a lot near the end, and it's not my favorite arc. It's not my favorite. Yeah. I did not see Alice in Borderland. I saw the Amazing Digital Circus movie last week, though. I saw the last act there. I don't want to spoil it because it's not out on YouTube yet, but I did see it last week. It was good. Saw it with some friends. Yeah, I feel like near the end, I think the issue with Dr. Stone is that the cast was so big near the end, and it was like if you liked, like, for example, if you like Ginro and Kinro, really good characters when we're in the village, and then later on when they go to Treasure Island, Ginro has a really major role to play. After that, they don't really do much. They're there and they have lines, but you really get the impression that, like, yeah, they're just not relevant. Tsukasa, do you like Tsukasa? Tsukasa's cool. After he comes back after the end of Treasure Island, he's just kind of there to be like, I'm strong fighter man. There's really not much more to his character or his personality after that. There's not much to it. It's just like he's there to fight, and that's it, you know? Was Matt Pat right? I can't remember the theory that Matt Pat had with Dr. Stone. But I will, I mean, like, it's a spoiler, but it's a spoiler that happened 3 years ago, so I don't want to, but it's right about to happen in the anime, so I don't want to spoil it again. Yeah. Yes, I've read all of Toriko, yeah. What do you think the Domi Reversi line is drawn? Rox killed his family, Shuri killed Reuven, yet the Giants and Rox, when killed under Domi Reversi, turned back. Where's the line? I mean, it seems to be, like, Chopper seems to be an exception. So let's put him off to the side right now, because whatever the fuck is happening whenever Chopper automatically reverses it, it's different from what that was pointed out. Like, that's weird. Okay, so let's put Chopper on the side right now. It seems to be the rule with everybody else. If you just hurt them enough, if you damage them a certain amount, which could be different depending on the individual, and I guess maybe the way they were Domi reversing, whether via the injection or flipped, could change the amount of damage that you need to, inflict on them for them to turn back. Oh, Uzumaki's a classic, yeah. I've read Uzumaki. I have Uzumaki, yeah. Is he a doctor or is he a stone? Yeah, at the end of the chapter, at the end of the series, you find out whether he's a doctor or he's a sentient piece of stone. And it's a really crazy twist. Loki's introduction in the anime was everything I wanted it to be. Yeah, that was a really good one. That was really good. I'm going to go watch the new episode after right this is over. I'm going to go eat lunch. I have some Olive Garden left over that I'm going to have from last night. My dad's coming down later. We're going to go to a baseball game. His birthday was on Thursday, so he wanted to go do this today. Though it's supposed to thunderstorm tonight, so I'm hoping it's not that. I hope it's not bad, because I'd like to go. But that's what I have planned today. Nothing really crazy. Olive Garden. I don't eat at Olive Garden very often. It's very rare that I'll eat at Olive Garden. But last night I was just craving pasta. And they have these like hot honey. I know hot honey is a bit of a trend, but I'm really enjoying it. I like hot honey on stuff. The hot honey chicken bites they have. Try those out if you ever go to Olive Garden. They're really good. Yeah. It's just like a small town team. It's just like a AA team. It's not like, we're not going to see like a Major League Baseball team or anything like that, but it's still fun to go see them. I think Johnny and Yosuku will come back to save the day. You know, you joke about that, but hold on a second. Where's that Johnny and Yosuku video ad I made? Good old Johnny and Yosuku. Why does no one notice the wings? People have noticed the wings. We went back and checked in this stream. People notice the wings when they turn into the demons. They're like, oh my god, you turned into a demon man. People notice the wings. Not every single person that sees them immediately exclaims, wings! But they've clearly identified them as demons. They can see the wings. Where is that? Johnny and Yosuku. Here we go. Johnny and Yosuku have went through a training arc. This is how they were part 1 of One Piece. But now, they're fucking ripped. They are jacked. They're ready to go. Yosuku is ripped as hell. And Johnny, he's lifting up a giant... You know how heavy that fucking fish probably is? That fish is bigger than he is. He's lifting it up with one hand. All right? One hand. I'm going to say Johnny and Yosuku are about as strong as East Blue Zoro, minimum, right now. They're pretty strong, man. They're going to show up and they're going to save the day. That is a 200-kilogram fish for sure. Yeah. You think Caesar Clown will sell Rumble Balls now that he knows the recipe? Oh, that'll be copyright infringement. Chopper might have to get a lawyer. Chopper might have to get a lawyer. That's one faction in One Piece we've never really seen too much. We've never seen the lawyers in One Piece. Is Oda going to reveal another faction of the series? We've never really addressed the legal... I mean, there's a legal system in One Piece. We've never seen lawyers, though. Maybe they were abolished. Maybe they got rid of all the lawyers. There's no lawyers in One Piece. There's just judges and then the just 11 jurymen. I think Frankie is the god of steel and metal. Metal is one of the elements in Chinese lore and like Eastern philosophy. So, yeah. Usopp mentioned getting a lawyer when Zoro was tying him to the... Oh! Okay, so does that confirm lawyers exist in the story? I think we just found my next video, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we just found our next video. Do lawyers exist in One Piece? The Straw Hats are going to need to get a lawyer. All right? Kaido should have gotten a lawyer, honestly, because I think Doflamingo was abusing the system of his, like you had King and Queen and Jack, and Doflamingo was naming his party after various... trading cards. I don't know if Kaido gave him permission to do that or what. I mean, they were working under like each other, but I don't know. I think Kaido had a solid case there. Yeah. There are courts, but we don't see lawyers because that's the joke. They're very unfair. The world government is the judge, the jury, and the executioner. There's no lawyers in there. Although in the live action, we did get a parody of a court case where Buggy kind of pretended to be the judge, but also Luffy's lawyer. Was there no mention of a lawyer during Enies Lobby? I mean, like there was. That was just mentioned by Usopp, but it was kind of as a joke. But he said lawyers, so he must know what it means. Yeah. Unless lawyers are just available in, like, fictional stories. They're like wizards. You know what I mean? Like, oh, hey, man, are you a wizard? You know, not that wizards are real, but they exist in the concept of the pop culture with, you know, fictional stories like Harry Potter and shit. Maybe that's what lawyers are in the One Piece world. They show up in fictional stories, and that's it. Who was Ace's lawyer? Ace didn't have a lawyer! Excuse me, sir. My client, being born is not a crime, Your Honor. Yes, it is! We're the world government! I was like, damn it, okay. And then the lawyer dies. Yeah. They're too expensive. Does One Piece have Saul Goodman? Dude, Saul Goodman fucking trying to defend Ace. Yeah, that would be funny. Yeah. He really needed one. What if nobody's asked? What if that's the magic word? All you need to do is ask. Ace, at any given point, let's go through this here. Ace was arrested by the Marines, thrown in level 6 impale down eternal hell. That seems a little harsh. No trial, no anything, just thrown in prison. You know, What if Ace would have just asked for a lawyer? He would have just been like, I want a lawyer. It'd be like, shit, he said it. We have to give him the lawyer now. I mean, Ace was still a pirate, though. That's kind of the whole point. Like, when you become a pirate, you raise the Jolly Roger, you're basically doing this to the world government, right? You're basically flipping them off and telling them, hey, fuck you, I'll do whatever I want. And that probably takes away any sort of semblance of fair trial at that point. Yeah. Yeah, nobody even read Ace's Miranda rights. How do they punish rogue Marines? There is a court-martialing system. And Garp was actually going to take Morgan to Marine HQ for that court-martial, but he got away. Have you considered making a video about what's the Celestial Dragons, what's going to Celestial Dragons at the end, their fate, re-educating the kids and stuff? I was going to make a video a while ago on how Dragon's Revolution was going to go and if he was just going to slaughter every single Celestial Dragon. I never made that video because it got really fucking dark. Where I was looking at this, I'm just like, dude, I'm literally going to like the Revolutionary Army barges in and they see a bunch of like, you know, Celestial Dragon children. And it's like, okay, Dragon's not going to kill them, right? But they might grow up and be hateful towards the Revolutionary Army. So the Revolutionary Army would then have to like take them and re-educate them. And there's issues. And it's just like, I don't even want to delve into these issues. This was a real dark video. So I was just like, nah. Dragons starving out the Celestial Dragons is kind of dark. Oh, no, it is. It is. There are slaves up there, too. Which does bring up the ethical question of, like, also, is this even going to ultimately... Like, it is working on the Celestial Dragons, but, like, Dragon and the others had to know that, like, okay, the slaves and the servants are going to die before the Celestial Dragons get starved. And they're not going to give a shit about the servants and the slaves. All right? They're not going to care. So, yeah, like, that's also a problem with that strategy. Holy Knights is looking very close to Shiryu. He looks very, very much like Shiryu. I made a joke that he's Shiryu's father, which that was a joke, but like maybe he could be. I don't fucking know. So Shiryu, that would kind of make Shiryu a Celestial Dragon. But oh my god, it is really fucking uncanny how similar he looks to Shiryu. Holy shit. Like right down to the cap. They rescued a bunch of slaves, but there's still a bunch of slaves and people up there. There was a scene of Celestial Dragon ordering food, and his chef was, like, all emaciated and starving. And he's like, sorry, sir, we don't have enough food for your filet mignon. All we have is some salmon. And he's dying, and the Celestial Dragon is still well-fed. Maybe Shiryu is a man-meyer. Shiryu is 44, so he wouldn't have been alive during this flashback. His dad would have been, though. His grandpappy would have been. Yeah, it's very similar. Hold on a minute here. Let's see if we can do this. Execute Order 76. Execute Order 67 right now, immediately. Okay, so here's Shiryu. And here's the guy from the last chapter. I mean, holy shit. It is really uncanny. Holy, this is Shiryu's fucking dad. This is Shiryu's fucking daddy. This is his pappy right now. Here's what happened. Here's what happened. Shiryu's dad was a God's Knight. They had a son. Shiryu was way too rough and tumble to be a God's Knight, so they sent him down to be an Impel Down Guard, and even then, it was really dangerous. Like, the chin is different. I mean, yeah, it's not the same exact person, but, like, damn, it is really close. I just cracked the code. Is this another Roto situation where we zoom in on the heels and we're like, it's Road? But no, seriously, imagine this. Imagine Shiryu as a God's Knight, as a celestial dragon, was so violent. Like, he was like he went to go hang out with the other kids, and then, like, celestial dragon kids ended up dead because he was like, did you ever read Vinland Saga? There's a character in Vinland Saga named Graham, or Garm, I think his name was. It's Garm. And that's basically his backstory, where he was a little kid and he played so violently with the other kids, they were, like, seriously injured and I think killed. And then the adults showed up and were like, hey, you're like, one adult showed up and like, hey, you beat my kid up. And then Garm, like, killed the dad. And then a bunch of adults showed up and then he killed a shit ton of them. And he's like a kid when this is happening, right? So what if Shiryu was that violent as a kid, where even the celestial dragons and even the God's Knights were like, okay, this kid is like even more than we're accustomed to. This kid is brutal. We need to take him out of Marijois because he's just going to be causing too much havoc here. We need to send him somewhere else. And so they sent him down to Impel Down to give him a job there. He's like, here, you be a guard in Impel Down. You can cut down as many fucking criminals as we want. We don't care. And then Magellan had a problem with that when he became warden and was like, okay, you're even crossing a line here. You know, we're going to lock you up. Yeah. So that could be a situation, yeah. I like rain. Have you ever seen the rain? What if he's the Big Yeti guy? He could be the Big Yeti guy. We don't know about the Big Yeti guy, though. We know he's big, and we know he's a Yeti. He's a devil fruit user, I would assume, but we don't know. I renewed my membership. Thank you. Appreciate that. Each flashback recently seems to dive into one Gorosei. Do you think that maybe one of the next flashbacks will be a flashback including one of the destroyed Nami's hometown and more from the bounty hunters? I made a joke in the last review that, like, we're just going to go down the numbers of the Gorosei. So Saturn is 5, and Marcus Mars is 4, Workery is 3, Nosturo is 2, and Shepherd Jupiter is 1. So we're just going to go down the line here. I'm fine with that. We find out something that Workery did that also ties into somebody, maybe not necessarily a Straw Hat, but ties into somebody else's backstory. I think Oda's going to try to plan this in a way that it's just like every single Gorosei did a horrible thing that shaped where the world is at right now. Because they're not immortal, but they're really old. Like, Saturn is at least 200 years, and if he's the most recent one, then Marcus might be 300 years old. Workery could be 400 or 500 years old. Nosturo, I think Nosturo and Shepherd Jupiter, the two that we've seen there, they seem to be the ones that have hung out with Emu the longest. So they might be close to, even like Shepherd Jupiter might even be like from the Void Century for as long as we know. You know what I mean? They've been around for a while. That guy looks more like Onigumo than Shiryu. I think Onigumo and Shiryu even kind of look similar. It is a very similar, maybe, style. Yeah, more fodder to hate their guts. Yeah. By the way, before I've already been going for an hour and a half, I was going to open some fan mail, so let's open some fan mail here. So I got this big box when I got back from Japan. I did a stream the day before, and then I went to the post office and got this, and I was like, damn it, I should have opened this before, but whatever. This is from Lily. Yes, Lily. Nefertari D. Lily from the distant past sent me a package. So thank you, Lily. And she sent me a bunch of stuff. A lot of it is figurines. So hold on, I'm going to move Barry back here. Oh, I still have a little bit of my breakfast. So it's a nut butter bar. Yeah. No. What did Alabaster Royalty send me? What do I get? Okay. We got a figure of Luffy in Gear 5th. King of Artist, Monkey D. Luffy. Gear 5, 3rd. Gear 5, Gear 3rd. Gear 5, 3rd. Yeah. We got that. We got a Luffy Gear 2nd figure, Maxmatic Plus. So I have this glass case behind me here where I keep all my figurines. The first 2 tiers are just sexy One Piece ladies. And then the 3rd tier are all the dudes. And the 4th tier is also dudes. I haven't filled out the 4th tier yet. So this is probably going to be pretty filled up by the end of this. Yeah. So we got that. We got some figures from the One Piece live-action series, Pirates and Marines. We got Kobe, Mihawk, Arlong, Buggy, and Axehead Morgan. So there we go. We got them there. Yep. I don't know. There was a glare on the screen. I don't know if you could see them. But there we go. Okay. And we got the Straw Hats as well that are like in gold. We got Sanji, Nami, Luffy, Zoro, and Usopp. There we go. Oh, great. Now this is some series that I've never even heard of before. We got this guy. This guy. I actually know this guy because I've seen the movie. I'm actually really excited to get this guy. I don't remember this guy's name, but I remember him from the movie. I remember what he does, and I remember his power, and I thought he was pretty cool. But I don't remember his name because it's been a while since I've seen the movie. But here we go. There it is. And then we got another one. This guy. Who, honestly, I know this guy. I don't remember this guy's name because, once again, I'm not a huge fan of this series. And I'm also not a huge fan of this guy. He's like my least favorite out of the trio from the beginning. He just kind of seems sort of bland to me and, you know, whatever. But whatever. I got this guy. Thank you. Yeah. And then, oh, this is adorable. Chopper without his hat. Yeah. Chopper without, hold on a minute. Let me open this one up. It's potential. I don't know what the reference there is, but I'm just going to go along with it. I hate Chopper without his hat. Well, he hates you without your hat. Asta got a better ending than anyone in Shonen history. I mean, I think that's debatable. I mean, he had a good ending. Glad he got a good ending. He's called Potential Man. Great. That means I'm vindicated, I guess. Chopper without his hat. Drinking his little. This is from Whole Cake when he was resting at Beiji's castle. Yeah, he's just chilling out. That does look kind of cursed. It kind of does. Yeah. He looks so weird. All right, what else do we have? We still have more stuff. We got this guy. We got Inumaki from JJK. Inumaki. I like Inumaki. He's cool. I'm all right with this guy. He's the one with the voice, the cursed voice thing. Yeah, he's cool. We got another Luffy, Gear 5th. A little tiny Luffy this time. Tiny Luffy. We're going to be stacking all these things on top of each other. And then we got another Gear 5th Luffy, One Piece Battle Record Collection. This looks pretty cool. So I have 3 Luffys that are now Gear 5th. Wait, hold on. Hold up. Yeah! There we go. And we got a couple of more things here. We got a little pineapple friend. Because pineapple juice is the best, and this is a little pineapple friend kind of creature. Yeah. How many are there? We're at the end of the box here. We got a little box here. Little pineapple guy. Is that a Pokemon? I don't think they've reached pineapple Pokemon yet, but maybe they have. It's Marco's ancestor. And we also got a One Piece Ace manga, which I think I already own. But thank you. Actually, you know what? I actually don't think I own this. No, I do. I do own this one, but thank you as well. I will take this as a, you know what? Actually, I might keep this one and then give the other one away, the one I already had as a prize at the convention. So I might just do that. I'll keep this one you gave me and then give the other one away and, like, sign it or whatever if people want me to sign things. People want me to sign things at conventions. I always find that weird. But, like, okay, I'll sign whatever you want me to sign. I have a gift. There was a dude last year that wanted me to sign, like, a One Piece trading card, and I didn't know how expensive it was or something, but it looked like a valuable card. And I'm like, I do not want to sign this because this looks, like, valuable. And he's like, no, sign it, seriously. I'm like, are you sure? And he's like, yes. Are you really sure? I'm like, yeah, go ahead. And I'm like, okay, you know, if I sign this, that's going to, like, remove any value this thing has. You are aware of that, right? And he's like, yeah, sign it. I'm like, okay, I asked him like 4 or 5 times just if he was sure, and I signed it. But, like, yeah. Quick question for the room. With the cover page, wasn't it mentioned Hancock got good at cooking meat entirely just for Luffy? I think so. I mean, like, Luffy doesn't require a lot. You know, you just cook the meat a little bit. Honestly, you don't even need to cook the fucking meat. You just give Luffy a pile of raw meat, and he'll eat that, all right? So, like, in this situation, it doesn't matter too much. Yeah. All right. We also have this letter, which I think came in this box. I took it out. I didn't open it because it has, like, the wax seal on it, and it looks really cool. So, oh, wait. No. This is what was in the box. Okay, I think this is from somebody else. Okay, hold on. This is the letter from Lily. Okay. Oh, I'm not going to charge for autographs. I'm just a dude. That's weird. Hey, Teching and Barry D. Brick. It's Lily from Washington. Wow, it's really been almost 2 years already. This box has been 2 years in the making. I had wanted to send it earlier, but life happens. Hey, it's okay. Life happens. At least I managed to gather more fun little gifts from my favorite YouTuber. In the box, there's some figurines and even a pineapple plushie, as pineapple juice is, in fact, the best juice. It is. Please enjoy this token of appreciation for all that you do in making our lives so much funnier with your content. I wish you all the best and hope that you're enjoying One Piece so far. Sincerely, Lily Elbath! All right, Lily, your sacrifice in the Void Century will not go in vain, but thank you for all of the figures. I'm going to have to figure out which ones are going to go in there. The Chopper one, I feel like I can put somewhere else because it's like a different kind of figure. And the JJK ones, I'll have to figure out a plate for those. Thank you for the One Piece live action ones, too. Those are really, really cool. I'll use those whenever I get around to doing the episode reviews again in, like, maybe 2027. You know, but I love all of the Luffy ones, and I got a Gear Second, which I haven't had a Gear Second Luffy, and I'm really excited for that one. That one looks pretty cool. So thank you. Thank you for all of that. And then we also have this mysterious letter from a strange benefactor, because it has a wax drop on the back of it. So we'll see who this is. Now I just got Clearwater Revival stuck in my head. Have you ever seen the rain? All right. This is from that symbol. Like, literally the symbol on the back of this is what the signature is. So I don't know how you would describe that symbol. Okay. Dear Teching 101, I hope this letter reaches you successfully. This is my first time writing to you since you moved from the iconic Teching bedroom. Although many years have passed, the signature Teching style of videos has not, which I am grateful for. I don't know why I'm reading this so seriously. Watching you reminds me of the old YouTube, with individuals broadcasting themselves instead of corporations. That is why I want to thank you for not changing who you are after all these years. The background may have changed, and the space may have gotten larger, but anime merch still blanket the walls. I feel like I should be smoking a cigarette or like a cigar while reading this. I don't know why. I just feel like I should be. It's like, Barry is still D-Brick, and Teching remains the cringe master. I've also been loving your breakdowns of the live-action series. Well, yeah, no, I should probably get back on that, shouldn't I? Helps me keep track of all the changes they made since I haven't watched or read the early Grand Line in years. To give my 2 cents about the live action, find attached. Yeah, they did actually send in two cents. There are 2 cents in here. Which, by the way, these 2 cents are Canadian, so that means this mysterious individual is from Canada. All right. I must say, Season 2 was so much better than the first. I don't know if this is ever due to the success of Season 1 giving them a higher budget, or if getting over the hurdle of all the crew needed experience. I think it's a combination of both. Regardless, it was as good as I could cautiously hope for. I remember hearing that they wanted to adapt all of Alabasta 2, but I think whoever's in charge, they did not. I think that's a good idea. They waited to Season 3 to do Alabasta. But I would think whoever's in charge, they did not. Would have been the opposite of the Dressrosa anime pacing on the wrong way. Probably, yeah. It would have been, if they shoved all of Alabasta in Season 2, holy shit, that would have been rushed. Keep up the great videos, man. I love seeing you. Stay the legend you are in the game. Sincerely, Symbol. All right, P.S. Ever think of doing real-life geography videos? I would watch it. I have considered that. I've thought about doing real-life geography videos. I just need to do a lot of research before I do them. I need to know what the fuck I'm talking about before I love geography, but I need to like know what the hell I'm saying before I say it. I don't want to get out and be like, "Hey everybody, so Croatia, crazy country. It's famous for having no shore." And then somebody is just like, "Yeah, it does actually." And it's like, "Oh shit, I was wrong." You know, it's like, yeah. Please explain the Bermuda Triangle. It's a triangle centered on one of the points is Bermuda. And people think that a lot of people go missing in there, but it's a high traffic shipping lane that people travel every single day. So, you know, there's the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle. Does Croatia have a shore? No, it does. It has a lot of shore. What's the country that has, like, Bosnia and Herzegovina? So Bosnia and Herzegovina is very interesting because only a small sliver of it actually has the shore, and Croatia actually owns the rest of it. Yeah. Yeah. Just make up countries. Wasn't Asperia supposed to be Austria? I think a lot of inspirations are taken from Austria because Brooke was mentioned to be from Austria if he was from our world, and also, like, there's Beethoven and everybody, so yeah. Are you sure? No. So yeah, I'd have to know a lot of stuff about actual geography, yeah. Anyway, you know, it's funny you mentioned One Punch Man. Right before I did this stream, I read the most recent chapter of One Punch Man on Viz, which was the one where the hero name victims association shows up, all get defeated, and then Saitama shows up at the end. Super chat! Yeah, we're going to do super chats. We're going to do super chats before I head out. Tacking World Tour! Just give me a random country, and I'm going to visit that country. Random country generator. Doesn't matter which one. Doesn't matter which one. We're going to the country. Random country generator! Gabon! We're going to Skopper Gabon! I actually know where that one is. That one's on the shore, the western shore of Africa. I actually know that one because it sounds like Skopper Gabon's name, so that's the way I remembered it. Yeah. Yeah, I was waiting for North Korea to pop up. I was waiting for, like, North Korea! I'm like, well, I said what I said. Okay. Yeah, Gabon's on the western side of Africa, so it borders the Pacific Ocean. Not Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean. There you go. Yeah, there we go. I did not land on an active war zone. Yeah. JJK was inspired by Bleach and Yu Yu Hakusho. I could tell. I could tell. It's a good series. I've just never really gotten way into it. And the last time I tried watching it, my house almost caught on fire. So, I don't know. The universe surely does not want me watching JJK. Yeah. But anyway, let's do some super chats. Let's go through them. Yes. Move this to the side. Move this to the side. Dude, this is not related to anything about anything, but it's something that just pissed me the fuck off this past week, okay? And so before I'm doing D&D, I run a campaign for my friends. I'm actually running 2 campaigns right now. One, they're level 13. Another campaign, it's like brand new people to D&D mostly. Like Casey and Zach are part of it. My other friends, Carla and Kevin, are part of it. And we're only on like the 4th. We're going to be doing the 4th session coming up soon, and they're like level 3. So that's a fun campaign too. So I have like a really advanced campaign with 8 players. Wait, no. 8 of us total. 7 players. I'm also, I'm the DM, so I don't count as a player. But like, there's 7 players. They're all level 13. We've been doing this for 3 years now. We've done like almost like 37 sessions. It's really intense, and they know how to play the game. And some of them are really big meta gamers, and it's a really crazy time. Anyway, they're about to enter this castle, and before I went to Japan, I took a piece of paper, just like this, like a piece of like, cardstock paper, and I drew a detailed map of this entire castle and each level, and I had it, and I drew it, and I'm like, magnifique, perfect, exactly what I needed for this. And then I went on my trip to Japan, and I came back, and I have tried to find this map for like the last 2 weeks, and I can't fucking find it anywhere. I have flipped my entire house upside down. I've looked over everything, and I cannot find it. And it's been the biggest thorn in my ass for like the last 2 weeks. I'm like, and I could just draw it again, but like, it was perfect the first time. It was perfect. And I'm like, where the fuck did this thing go? And I'm looking everywhere for it. Oh, man, check Barry's pockets. Yeah, it turns out it's in Barry's little pocket. It's just folded a bunch of times. Oh, my God. No, I didn't bring it to Japan with me. I didn't bring it to Japan. I drew it down here. And I think I brought it up to the game room. So there's a game room where we play D&D, and then there's my office, and then there's like my bedroom. I've went through everything. I've literally went through every backpack, every drawer, every book, every folder, every binder, every box, I'm checking under the tables, I'm looking under the couch, I'm checking everything upon everything. I'm going through every piece of paper about everything that I've ever written down involving D&D for like the last 6 years, and I can't find this fucking thing. It's gone. And so I'm like, wouldn't it be funny if I just looked right now, like on my clipboard, and it was right here? This was what's on, by the way, this is the stuff that's on Tekking's clipboard. Let's go through Tekking's clipboard really quick. I keep this next to me at all times for, like, notes. I have, like, little Post-it notes, but when I have more notes that Post-it notes can't handle, you know, is it just behind your monitor? That would be really funny. Wait a minute. So this is, what's this? This is a list of D&D stuff for, like, the campaign. Like, which NPCs are on which group. That's what that is. This is a drawing of Emu's weapon. This is... Okay, so I have a theory. This looks like a zygote at first, probably. This looks like the initial stages of pregnancy, but no. This is the planet of One Piece. This is Blue Planet, and I have a theory that the treasure tree Adam, the Yggdrasil tree, is on this side, and the mother tree Eve is over here. And the root system actually coalesces at the center of the planet, and they kind of intermingle. So I have a theory that's kind of like that. Emu is still in the house. He stole it. Oh, I'm going to go beat the shit out of Emu after this if he has that fucking map. I swear to God. I'm literally on a mission to go get a map, a lost map. All right. It's the world trees. Yeah. So it's that. That's what's there. Blank piece of paper. Here is the devil fruit list. I was keeping track of all the devil fruits when I was making those videos. Here's the ones that I guess I have to add. I have to add Loki's and Ratatotskers to the list now. But there's that. There's my amazing expert drawing of Loki in his hybrid form from that one chapter from the silhouette there. Here is a ways to kill Saturn checklist that I made. Let's go through this. Okay, ways to kill Saturn. This applies to all the Gorosei. Saturn is dead, so let's see if I actually got anything on this. All right, atom bomb. Would an atom bomb kill Saturn? Hot oil, horde of angry badgers, acid magnet. That's from the Venture Brothers, but I got to include the acid magnet. Ready the acid magnet. Is it more magnet or acid? I don't know. Is it a magnet and then you're covered in acid, or a magnet covered in... I don't know. But it's the acid magnet, okay? All right. Drop in a black hole. Summon Exodia. Okay, dropping him in the black hole would probably kill him. I would imagine that would actually take care of the problem. Turn him into a paper and throw him like a frisbee. Deathcap mushroom. I just wrote Deathcap mushroom. Opposite of Brooks fruit. I don't even remember writing this shit. Peanut butter, if he's allergic. He might be allergic to peanut butter. Who knows? And make him watch Dragon Ball Evolution. That would definitely kill him. That would kill anything. Here's the silhouettes of the Gorosei that I drew. Let's see. These are just notes on Emu. Emu exists like physical form. He can block attacks. Does he poop? I put poop, question mark. He speaks casually, kind of childishly, uses archaic pronouns, speaks edgy. That's just like a general, like, the shit we knew about Emu probably like a year ago is probably what that is. Holy shit, I remember this. This is every Marine in the fucking story. This is when I did my Marine video, my updated Marine video. So I made my first Marine video in 2017. And then 5 years later in 2022, I did a remade version of that. And I wrote down every single Marine and every single rank at that time. And I put time codes and every single one. That was a lot. I had a lot of shit on here. Like, I put little arrows to see if they moved up or down the rankings. Oh my god, that was an extensive video. That was crazy. And I feel like I'm going to do this every 5 years, which is next year already, which is crazy how much time. So 2017 to 2022 and then 2022 to 2027. That's going to be next year already. I'm going to have to do a redone version of the Marine video again. And I'll have to make the same Tashigi boobs joke every time. There's a tradition, and the tradition is every time we do the Marines video, hold up, we got to do the reference and the joke that Tashigi's boobs get bigger every single time she gets promoted in the Marines, because this is canonical. Will you do another Bleach content other than the episodes reviews? Because I want to see you do more. It depends. It depends on what we do. I mean, like, depending on what happens after the Core 4 is over, because they're going to do more things. They're not just going to end at that point. Yeah. Yeah, time flies. It really does. Really does. Okay, hold on a minute here. This is the Marine video. I love doing these. I love doing the Marine videos. They're a lot of fun. Yeah, look at this. Yeah. So here we go. I mean, it's right there. I mean, I don't know what you expect. I mean, this could just be Oda's, or Tashigi might have a special ability. I don't know. Tashigi has a special ability, and that's how it works. So we haven't seen her in a while, too. So if she got promoted, I mean, hey, I'll tell you what, Tashigi really helped out at Hachinosu. She was there. She participated. I think a promotion's in order. That's all I'm saying. I think she's captain. I think you can promote Tashigi to Commodore at this point, right? I feel like you could. Yeah. What if she gets demoted? Well, that's weird. I guess they get smaller, I guess. Okay. And I think that's everything. I think everything else is just blank pages in here. Yeah. But anyway, let's go to some super chats. Yeah, Kubo did the same thing in Bleach with Nanao. Oh, not Nanao. Nanao's boobs never got bigger. I think you're thinking of Nemu. Nemu in the Soul Society arc, I don't think was as shapely. Cause like later on, when she shows up, when the fight with Pernida, there's scenes with her where it's just like, oh my god, Kubo's going insane with her chest right now. Yeah, and that was Nemu. Yeah. Anyway, super chats. Let's pull them up on this screen so I can keep the live chat going over here. Super chats. There we go. The Hunter x Hunter manga returns next month. So I saw that the manga, like the new tankobon, is going to be released. It'll be volume 39, I think. But then also right around the time the tankobons are released is when the manga comes back as well. It's crazy because like going in and just walking around Japan, there's still lots of Hunter x Hunter merch. There has never been a series, I think, that has had so many hiatuses that everybody's like, okay, to say everybody's okay with it, like we want the story to continue, obviously. We want more, and we want the story to end eventually, obviously. We want it to have a conclusion, obviously. But like the level of patience and respect I think everybody has for Hunter x Hunter in Japan and here as well is pretty good. Like I think we've all just kind of settled into the reality of like, this is just how it is. And, you know, we're going to get 10 new chapters of Hunter x Hunter probably coming up, like we always do. And then there's going to be no new chapter for like 2 or 3 years or 5 years or whatever. And we're just going to have to be like, okay, that's just how it is. And then it eventually comes out and then we, you know, enjoy it. And then, you know, that's just how it always works. And so there was Hunter x Hunter merch wherever you go in Japan. Like it was around. I didn't see that much Bleach merch in certain places, but there's always like Hunter x Hunter stuff. Emu stole my map. Yeah, I'm going to have to go find that asshole. I bet Tekking's going to have a war with the ants this year. Dude, yesterday, I already had to. I already did. I was outside. I was like trimming a hedge on the side of my house, and it was right next to my garage. So I opened the door to my garage, a little side door to my garage, and there was ants all over the entrance and the side door, like between the screen door and the real door. And it was like, fucking ants all over the place, all up the side of my house. I'm like, all right, here we go. It begins again. I had to pick up the spray the whole thing, and I'm like, all right. I look forward to them being back in 3 days. I have a Gear 5th Luffy that is quite big, a Blackbeard and a Stussy statue. Also, the one figurine is Megumi Fushiguro. Ah, that's his name, yes. I've always wanted to get, like, because I've been to Japan and I've seen, like, the large images, like the large figures of Luffy, like the ones they have in the One Piece store, and I'm like, dude, I wonder if I could get one of those. But it's just like, this is a big room, but like having a giant Luffy statue that's like life-sized in here might be a little much. So I don't know about that. I still got to get the Karasu artwork back there. I haven't even messaged him yet about that. I still need to get that done. For the next tournament, when we bring out the next tournament, I'll have it done. Yes. We're taking a hiatus at the moment. Not that big, but it's big. Oh, yeah, I figured yours wasn't as big as, like, because there's only a certain amount of people that can have, like, a 6-foot-tall figure in their house and have room for it. What if the guy is the Yeti guy from God Valley? He could be. The Yeti guy looked a little bit more jolly than the guy in the last chapter, though. What do you think about a normal person in the One Piece world going through a random civil case? So I think if it's like a civil case, that would be handled by the individual kingdom. If it's nothing involving the world government, then it doesn't matter, right? Like, if it's a situation where, let's say you have a farm and your neighbor's kids, sneak onto your farm and destroy your crops, that's not, you're not going to go to fucking Enies Lobby for that shit. It's like a local disagreement that's going to be settled in like a local court, by the kingdom or whatever it is, whatever the rule is. You know what I mean? Like, that's the way that's going to be solved. I'm sure, like, stuff like that probably happens all the damn time, yeah. Yeah, small claims court. There was I can't remember if it was around, I feel like it was around here. Let me Google this really quick. I think I answered a lot of these. Like, that was the one about Ace's lawyer, the Celestial Dragons being all killed. I think I answered most of these. Yeah, I got all these done, yeah. Unless the Marines are involved. Yeah, if the Marines or anybody are involved, the Marines would win. The world government would win. Yeah, but if it's just like the small claim stuff. But there was a story around here about a guy that had a bunch of bees. He was a beekeeper, and he had a bunch of bees in his yard. And these dumbass, like, teenagers just snuck onto his property and, like, just knocked over, like, all of the bees. Like they killed a shit ton of bees. And they had to, there was a hefty fine, and I think some prison time. Not prison time, because I don't know if they were like juvenile detention or whatever, but like I remember, like, no, they was like, dude, you killed a shit ton of bees and ruined this guy's like livelihood. Like, I don't know if they thought they were just going to get off with like a slap on the wrist or something, but that was that. How'd they not get stung? They probably did. But hold on. Bee farm gets destroyed. I'm trying to remember if this was a local story or something I read about. Hold on a second here. Pennsylvania. What was this story? Someone set fire to a bunch of bees. That was recent, though. That was in February. This happened a while ago. Here we go. Nope. That's still... I think I'm just getting that, then, because that's a more recent story. This was out by Pittsburgh. Thousands of bees killed in an arson. Who the fuck lights bees on fire? Jesus Christ. Hold on. WPXI. Okay. Okay. Charred pieces of honeycomb and burned boxes are all that remains after someone set fire to a bee farm in Beaver County. Yes, there's a Beaver County. Just 2 days after Christmas. What kind of sadistic fuck? 2 days after Christmas. Lights fire to a bee farm. The hives were located far back on the former River's Edge golf course property, hidden from view. You can't even see any houses from where we are, said Andrew Gall, a Crime Stoppers investigator. It's hard to believe they were bothering the neighborhood, but maybe they were. Look, if you have a problem with a neighbor or somebody on a farm having like a bee, like beekeeping, like a lot of like apiary stuff, and like maybe the bees are like, swarming and like causing problems for your house or causing problems for whatever, maybe they're stinging you or your kids or whatever, the solution is you don't firebomb the fucking bee farm, okay? Yeah, that's not the solution. 50 colonies have been wiped out. 50 hives destroyed, 15 to 20,000 bees per hive killed. God, so that's like 20,000 on the times 50. It's fucking 1 million bees. God damn. Yeah, 30 pounds of honey each hive gone. All right. Did anybody ever find out what this was? I don't know if anybody even found this out. Family-owned beehive farm intentionally destroyed by fire. The plot thickens, ladies and gentlemen. The plot thickens. Hold on, I'm invested now. Let's get to the bottom of this. Bedillion Honey Farm. They say someone intentionally set fire to the 50 beehives on their farm. They estimated a loss of... Was this an insurance scam? We rolled up to it, blah, blah, blah. My heart dropped. Okay, it was like getting punched in the gut. They are hoping that Ohioville police can find whoever is responsible. Okay, intentional. Not that they did it. All right, I misread that at first. I was like, is this like an insurance scam that they were running? No. Okay. So this wasn't an accident is what they were saying. This wasn't like accidentally there was a fire and the bees were killed. This was somebody obviously, I don't know, like throwing fucking Molotovs or something, setting fire to these bees. That's an asshole move. Who kills the bees? Well, I don't know if they ever found out who did it because it was never really mentioned. That was the last story that I'm seeing here. Yeah. Yeah, the wasps, if it was a wasp farm, you know, that's a different story. Dude, anybody that has a wasp farm, you watch that motherfucker, okay? If you'd be like, hey, Bill, what are you doing? You know, just taking care of my wasp farm in my backyard. You know how it is. It'd be like, you're a fucking serial killer, Bill. You're a serial killer. You know, like, yeah. Without wasps, you guys would be surrounded by tarantulas. I'll take the tarantulas. Tarantulas are fine. Their sting is about as equivalent as a bee sting, and they don't have the ability to fly. I'm okay with tarantulas. Do you want to see the happiest little spider? So I saw the happiest little spider the other day. He was adorbs. He was outside my little my back door. Let me send you this. This is great. I'm gonna send you. I'm really hungry, so I need to eat lunch. I'm gonna send you this picture of the happiest little spider, and then I'm going to go and break for lunch. Okay. Oh, wait, shit. Who did I send that to? Fuck. Oh, my, okay, I was like, I think I might have mass sent that to everybody in my fucking... Oh, well, everybody gets a picture of a happy little spider, I guess. I sent that to everybody. My tax guy looks at this, and he's just like, thanks for the spider, Matt, I guess? Oh, thank you, I guess, for the little spider image, I suppose. All right. Look at this little guy. Look at this little spider guy. Hold on. Look at him. Oh, he was a curious little spider. I opened my back door, and he descended down. He was, like, hanging out on the top of the door, and he just, like, descended down really, really, like, James Bond-esque. Like, dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. And then he hit the floor, and then I'm like, oh, my God, he looks amazing. And so I had to take a picture of him. So I had a little spider photo shoot. And, yeah, he even kind of like waved at me a little bit here. And he was like a little cool guy. Yeah. He's such a cute little spider. He is a bold jumper spider. So he's not super tiny. He is like, sometimes you find spiders that are like the size of like ants. He wasn't that small. He was probably like that big. Probably. Yeah. But here's the happy little spider guy. All right. Well, I'm gonna end this out because I'm very hungry and I'm gonna go eat some Olive Garden. So anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Say bye to the happy little spider. Bye, happy little spider. Okay. Yes. Have a good one. Teching, signing out. Have a good rest of your day.